How you going, guys? And welcome to Microsoft 2020 as we look at the Hyper Arrow 3. I am a student pilot for the Platinum Archer 3. I am actually very close to doing my flight test in the Archer 3 to get my RPL license, my recreational pilot's license here in Australia. I fly out of Archerfield. This is exactly one of the stands that I leave the airfield from. Technically in front of us here, that nice cement pad actually has a hangar there that we push the aircraft out onto this line and we taxi from here. But we are here today to have a look at a first look. I've literally just installed this aircraft from Just Flight, the Arrow 3. I do have the K920 one. I have not done a video in a long time, so this is my first video in a while. But we're here to have a look at the textures. I am running in not great graphics. I do have medium graphics, but having a look at what this aircraft is just amazing, even in medium graphics. There is a little bit of wear and tear going on the windows there, as you can see, or it's just the graphics, but it looks really, really good. And as you can see, the reflection on the wings, on the top of the wings there, are just immaculate. I can't fault that at all. So we're just going to have a look up in here. A lot of people didn't do this on other things. You can see and hear. That is almost what a real one sounds like when you play with the elevator at the back of the aircraft. So it's really good. You can't really do too much with the rudder technically on the ground, but yeah, so it's like the tiniest movements. But listening to and the feel of the ailerons going up and down is just so smooth, with the control column going right to left there. It's almost instant, so I'm really looking forward to getting the arrow up in the air and having a look. Now, as there's plenty of other comparison videos out there, we'll do a comparison video and not too much in depth of what the aircraft look like. I just want to know how they feel like. And mind you, the aircraft looks absolutely amazing from my point of view. So let's go ahead and get into the cockpit and we'll have a look around. Now I'm going to do this without my there is something trying to move down here. That will be it. Alright. Alright. So we're going to have a look without my track IR first, but we step in the cockpit and we see the lovely finish and the absolute detail. And I'm, again, running in medium graphics. And the absolute detail, I wanted to show everybody at how good it looks in medium. For those people that are still on the fence about this aircraft, you are going to be blown away if you have higher frame rates and a better GPU. I am just absolutely blown away with it. It is just insane. So we are rated with the default version, like a very basic version of the auto, the navigation and all that stuff, with a 100 GPS. I've never used a 100 GPS in my life, so it's going to be great to have a look at how this GPS works in the future. And the radios just look absolutely amazing. Can't wait to actually take out a very old aircraft and see what it's like to navigate with old instruments. Absolutely loving the texture looking stuff. I know you can get rid of the yoke, so we'll get rid of the yoke. I'm going to have to use track IR for this. Track IR sorted. But down here, the finished textures actually look metal on the foot pedals. Absolutely amazing. And what you've noticed straight up on this aircraft is the fuel is actually selected to off by default as a cold and dark setup, which is amazing. We do have the option of opening the window by 2 different clicks. So instead of just opening it by 1 click in some aircraft, you actually have to click it on both, which is just insane. Same with the door. Instead of 1 click, you've got to do 2 clicks. And then you gotta do 3, I believe. Feel like a handle around here somewhere. There we go. You just push it. Wow. So there's 3 clicks to open that door. I wonder if you can open the baggage door at the back here. Yeah, maybe you might be able to. Oh, it's absolutely amazing. And I think you can go down in sections on the. Yeah, that's cool. You go all the way? No, you can't. It doesn't actually go all the way. Oopsies, sorry about that. That's cool. I love how you can actually do that. Oh, man. Absolutely amazing. I'm going to have to bring my seat down. There we go. We'll fix it up. Oh, that's great. There's other ways, when you click on it, sometimes they just flips out straight out. So I'm just doing that with the mouse wheel. You probably can hear it in the background. But that's cool. Really, really good. Absolutely amazing little aircraft. Look at the wear and tear on the trim wheel. The wear and tear on the floor. And they've gone for a more classic look for the aircraft. The stitching up the top here on the dash is just amazing. But the best thing about this is having a look at how realistic we can go here. So we can have ready for takeoff, ready for start, cold and dark, the maintenance of the aircraft. So we can refuel oil, we can recharge the battery, we can enable it, which I'm going to, because I really want to see how the oil reacts in this aircraft. Now you can fly this aircraft. My standard SOPs at my school is no less than 6, so we have to leave it over 6. You can fly it down to 4, and for you can, I believe it's 2. Don't quote me on that. You'll have to get the engine POH for that, but I believe the minimum ports you can take is 4. Otherwise, you might have problems. So I'm going to leave that on because that is going to be quite realistic in how it goes. So we have no crosswind at the moment. I don't know how this flight info works here. And we can, oh wow, look at that. So we have a headwind component of 1 knots, no crosswind, and the TAS track. So it looks like we're heading, our direction at the moment is 177 with no drift. How many knots we're doing through airspeed? We have no crosswind, and we have a headwind component. I don't know if that's one way up in the air, so it might most likely will be. I'm going to have a look at this. Pressure altitude, minus 104 feet. I guess that would happen once we start the aircraft up. All of this is really cool. Flight info, how far, endurance. This is great. All the stuff that I didn't see in the previous thing. So we got quite a bit of information just there. I like the fact that we can have a co-pilot right next to us. That is really good. Pity they don't take control of the. So that's really good. So I can kind of pretend that I have my instructor with me. Great. So we have auto fuel selector. I'm definitely turning that off. Sorry, I am going to do it myself. You really need to learn. And as we already know, you can change these on the fly with the different GPSs. I am very used to the 430, and I am definitely used to the 530, which I'm going to be going ahead and leaving the 530 because I use that a lot in start state saving. Yeah, so we're going to go ahead and enable that. HSI. So I have used this one quite a lot, but I am definitely going to use the HSI. So we'll use the HSI because you can do like all sorts of So the left yoke is off, so we can put the left yoke back on. So we have the chocks and the tie downs and the tow bar. Let's go ahead and have a look outside. So we have the chocks and the tie downs and the tow bar, which is really good. I wonder if we could, when H.O.T.A. come out with an aircraft, we'll be able to go and do that manually, take it off manually, or just like get back in the aircraft. So Let's turn those off. And we'll double check that they're gone in a minute. So cabin door is obviously open at the moment, and then we have the baggage door, that sort of stuff. So we'll go ahead and close the baggage door this way instead of closing it. So we're all good there. And we're pretty much just done with the FE. So I think it's this one, and that gets rid of that. Alright, so let's go ahead and start the aircraft. And I will go through the checklist on how to get it started. Alright, so without further ado, get the camera set up. Right, so the first thing we got to do is we got to do our weight balance. So I'm just going to go ahead and do what I would normally do. Now I am quite a heavy bloke. So, about 129 kilos. So our max takeoff weight is 1,247 kilos, which is bad. So that's our max MT. We've got full fuel. We're pretty much good to go there. Right. So we do our checks. We've done all of that. We're done outside. We'll just jump outside a little bit. Everything's out. Everything's off. That's cool. Alright, so by default, the brakes are on, which is really good. So we go over here, left or least. Okay, so left tank, because both tanks are full, we're going to go left tank. Right, I'm going to try and do everything that we do in the Archer. Now, there is a way different way of doing it in the Archer because we have to. So I'll stop when we get to that particular one. Alright, so the next one is batteries. Batteries are on. Close. So I'll just do it that way because I don't think the yeah, these for some reason aren't working with my nope. Alright, so the switches aren't working with my, for some reason, my yoke's working. Right, so that's that done. Now we need to do the beacon, the rotating beacon. Now, is that actually out on the aircraft? Yes, it is. It's out on the back. Now, I'm going to do another video out on the on another aircraft, on the Coronado version, which is completely and totally different. We have the anti-collision, which I believe is these strobes. So, that's pretty cool. So that's just a different setup there. Now, do we not have... Is that the nav lights? Oh wow. So the nav lights are a little radial. Let's get rid of that. So yeah, there's the nav lights. Alright, and then you can have them up or down or dark or bright. There we go. Cool. Alright, whatever. Alright, so beacon on, nav lights on. That's all on. Cool. Right, so down here, left, both. We'll leave it on both. Full throttle, full propeller. Fuel pump on, so I'm going to use a button, but it's that one there. Nice little hump. That's really cool. I've only ever been in an arrow once, and that sounds pretty cool. Right, mixture full. We're looking for... I need to fix up my dead zone, that's why it keeps clicking. Alright, so our fuel is going, so we're going to bring that back. So that's our manifold there. And I'll teach you all about the manifolds on another tutorial. Even though I don't fly these often, but I do have a bit of time in the simulator to actually have a look at how they run. So we're going to just go back to idle just to tab there. That's annoying. I'm going to have to fix that up next time. Sorry about that. Throttle a little bit forward. Alright, so master on. Put the fuel pump on. Lights all on. A mixture full, rich, left or least on the tank, and a little bit on the throttle. Now what we'll do is we'll crank it. Once the engine starts, then we'll go ahead and put the mixture all together. So, clear prop. So it's idling at 1400, which is where it needs to be set. Okay, so we're pretty much done that. So we've got it idling at 1400. Right, so all lights on landing. We don't have any So landing lights on. Cool. Now I believe we don't have any lights in the other aircraft. So that's another comparison that the aircraft in Coronado has. It has recognition lights on the side of the wings. This one only has lights underneath. So it is a hell of a different aircraft. So yeah, definitely pick up on some comparisons there. So, we've got all of that mixture down to just where the T is, just there, just below the T. So we lean it down. We're going to go ahead and set up our radios for launch field. That's one. So that's Archerfield ground, and then our takeoff. We'll just use, I don't know what runway we're going to be using today, so we'll just use the southern departure. Just listen to the sounds. That's amazing. So everything turns on separately as well. So we need to turn on these separately. There it is. That's what that's column 1. I think that's column 2 technically. That's column 1 there. We've got an ADF there. Looks like we have our hours over here with another attitude indicator. So if I was to do altitude, not attitude. Yeah, altitude over here and altitude over here for the instructor. We have our fan. And you can hear the fan going. Wow. We'll turn that off. I don't know if we can get down here and turn these on. That's our air from outside for underneath us. But that's alright. Turn this to 3000 and we'll chuck that on standby. So we have our alternate air, which is just there. Frame is set for normal. And that's pretty much it. So we've done pretty much everything that we need to do now. And then all we need... Oh, would you look at that? These things move together. That's really cool. Alright. So we're going to go ahead and taxi. We're just going to go ahead and grab the weather. So you're going to hear it pop up on the screen. I'm just going to get it off Rex weather. I'm not actually using Rex weather, I'm using the live weather again. But for some reason, Rex weather doesn't like working properly. Now, I was just at Archerfield like less than an hour ago, and it is pouring down rain. And it's not pouring down rain here. I don't know why it's not. But we have 3604 knots. So at 3604 knots, would probably be good to take off on one-way 28 with a nice tailwind behind us, or we could just go down to 10, but we'll just go on a 28 right and do a circuit out there and then come back in and have a look at how well it flies and what my opinions on this aircraft is. So we'll go ahead, we'll taxi out, do a run-up checks, and we'll have a look. Kind of interested to see if this aircraft will start rolling straight away, and it does. Look at that. So I believe this is the clock, and this is based on your simulator. If I have a look at that, yeah, 153 on my computer, and 153 on the clock, and we have different modes as well. The timer and the clock. And I'm not watching. Sorry about that, guys. Very unrealistic on me. The taxi feels amazing. Like, it's not... Listen to the sound of that. So the taxi is just amazing. That's full deflection of the full pedals. It's not like the default aircraft where it just swings the aircraft around like a go-kart. It actually feels like a real aircraft that I'm taxiing. We're going a bit quick here, so I'm just going to slow us down to about 10 ground speed. Now we can do a few things so we're not doing too much. So we're just gonna do our flight controls. That is absolutely nice. We're gonna make sure that everything's closed, and not crash into any buildings. I am doing very bad at the moment. I am just Googling the whole aircraft and focusing on real look. This is just a first look. I will do many other videos in a stream, hopefully, and we'll see how we go about that. I love the scratches on the window here. Alright, since it's variable 5 knots, we're just going to go ahead, face down the runway, and park it right there. Alrighty, I'll just leave that window open. So we bring it up to 2,000. Alright, so before we do that, fuel pump off. Do we want to find out how much, like the fuel, how the fuel is actually working without the fuel pump on? Alright, so full rich on the throttle, full power on the propeller, and up to 20,000. 2,000, 20,000, 2,000. That sounds amazing. Absolutely amazing. If I don't say so myself, that sounds great. Anyways. Alright, so turn the mags off, left mag. There's a drop by 90. Right mag. There's a drop by 85, 90. There we go. That's cool. Alright, so now we're going to bring the propeller all the way back. After we check this suction gauge, is there a suction gauge in this aircraft? There it is right there. So that is about right. On most aircraft, where the big line is, right here, there's like a red line there and a red line here. So it's in the middle of where it needs to be. So that is good. And bring the propeller all the way back to feather. And it only brings it all the way back to 15. Not too bad. Bring it all the way back up. Check the T's and P's. Oil temp is good. Amps are good. The fuel pressure is good in the green. Our fuel flow is okay. And yeah, we're all good there. I'm not 100% sure what that is. Don't quote me on it. I am not in that yet. We also have auto control. So this must be the autopilot over here. Okay. That's a new autopilot for me. Over here, we press it just to make sure that all our lights stay off. And we're good to go. We're going to bring the throttle back down to about, just drop it all the way. See if it stays up above 700. There's 1,000, and it's staying up above 1,000. Alright, so let's bring it back up to 1,400. I think there's a bit of thunderstorms out there. Ready? Awesome. Right, so let's taxi us to the runway and get going. Close that. Alright, fuel on. Alright, so fuel pump is now on. Go ahead and turn our strobes on. Go. We're going to leave our flaps for takeoff. Actually pretty good. I'm not comparing the two yet, but I'm going to anyway. I've had a bit of a problem with the arrow on the from Coronado at 2100 RPM breaks off and I'm still not moving. So this aircraft being able to move at less than 1500 RPM is pretty good. Yeah, so the Coronado one is a little bit out on the RPM, or the brakes are just stuck on for some reason. I don't know. But anyways, so far, absolutely in love with this one. Right, so we're going to head out onto runway 28. We've got a lot of cloud around, and we're going to just stay around about 1,000 feet, do our lovely circuit, and then we'll just come in for a landing. Alright, so heater heat not required. Actually, we're going to turn it on. It is raining inside. We're going to go ahead and turn our transponder on. Flaps are off. Our trim is set for neutral. All our radios are set. Let's say change it for the. Now I would not be using that. Now I'll be using 123.6 for this runway, but that's okay. That's everything. Everything's set. I've got the H.O.T.A.S on here. So what have we got? 101, 1012. Okay, so we're going to take off, let's say, yep, in that direction, our landing direction, and take off, and we're going to do a right hand side. Alright, ready to go, brakes off, good to go, not using anything, I've already pulled the tower, we're all good to go, tower's set, take off. So once we get out there, we're going to throttle up, 3 seconds for throttle up, and then we're going to check our T's and P's, we're going to check our RPM is stable, rate of climb, all that sort of jazz, and we'll get going. Right, so 1, 2, 3. RPM stable. Whoa, a lot of wind about. Brakes, gear up. And turn. Stick right now. I haven't even trimmed the aircraft out. Trying to hold 90 knots for our climb up to 1000. Now, don't take any of this as a real flying, because that is not good crossing the runway like that. Not unless you're told. This is just to have a look at the aircraft and how it works, how it sounds. I've actually got the graphic turned on. Live weather stuff. But my god, is she stable. Alright, so now we'll start to trim the aircraft out. So manifold will be right about there with RPM at 2,500. Alright. So, how, oh yeah, I do actually have traffic turned on, my bad. Alright, so how this works, now I'm not going to really dive into it, I'll probably do a circuit video in the future, and I can trim it out. But at the end of the wing, you have the little painting, or the rivets at the very end. If you can see that mouse, it's right there, where the painting meets the rest of the wing. And you want that pretty much in line with the middle of the runway on this side. If I was on the other side, the runway would be down halfway down the wing. Alright, so it's going to be the same for this side of the airfield. I don't want to climb, I do want to turn. That's 30 degrees. 45 degrees from the runway. I want to try and aim to come down this road here. Oops. So I'm going to try and turn down that road. Try and get as straight as possible. And then I am aiming for the bend of that river, just to the left of the riverbed. You can see that. That's where I want to be. And then once I trim ourselves out, I look down here. Alright, so we do have a aircraft with landing gear, but we're going to be on our 129. So gear now, because we are under 129 for gears. So I'll go ahead and bring our manifold pressure down. Go ahead and trim on that. We're under 100, so we should be able to. Oh, so stable. Such a good day. Alright, so there's 45. There's flaps 1. We want to be at 75 knots for landing. 1. So we're turning it around 85 on base. I want to keep that around 85 for base. Around about 80 down base. And then around about 75 for final and 70 for landing. I'm going to try and aim the aircraft out here. I'm not actually using my instruments. I'm actually trying to use visual references to land. That's 750 altitude. Hopefully this should be a better landing. We'll do a go around. See how the landing goes. Alright, so we're going to bring it back. Coming on the final now. There's the final stage of flaps as we turn on the final. There's 75. Oh, I overshot a bit. That's alright. Just keep bringing it around. Not every pilot's great, and I don't claim to be the best. The 75 on the money there. Now my aim point is just beyond the threshold. I am just literally aiming the aircraft at the threshold rather than 75 knots. Alright, so pop triple C. Oh, there we come in. And then we aim to the other end of the runway. Down we come. There it is. Flaps up. There's 75 knots and flying. Let's climb that at a rate of, alright, so gears up. again, we want the middle of the runway to be in line with the end of the wing where the different colours start. So with the manifold, you have a 23,000 RPM and a 25,000 RPM. There is a POH you can grab on the left of this couple, and you can have a look at what the manifold pressures are. Now, the Coronado aircraft actually has manifold pressures that you have the visor, which you can take a photocopy of and rememorize it, or you can just get it out of the POH. I've rememorized it quite a bit. So it's around about 21.6 manifolds for the 1,000 feet at 2,500 RPM, something like that. So if you're in that ballpark, you should be good. Alright, so we are under 129. The gear's down. Alright, pipes out one. We are a little high. We're also maintaining 1,000 feet. So we'll go in and land, and yeah, I'll let you listen to it until we get to the ground. Done a variable change because it was crosswind from the left, now it's crosswind from the right, if you didn't notice. It's actually variable all over. Sorry. Well, oof. There you go. Not crash shot, that probably should have been a go around, but again, we're in a sim, and the second time, it was just a first look. But yes, that can happen. Variable is going crazy at the moment, variable knots of wind. So yeah, that gives you a show of how the aircraft is actually feeling as well when the weather does change. So very good flight model, very, very good just flight. Do I think this aircraft is worth its money? It is currently $44 USD at Just Flight. I paid for about $59, I think about $58 something I think I paid for the aircraft, Australian. Is it bang for buck? Yes, I would have to say downright. I am not, I don't have a, I'm not being paid to tell you what I think. This is me being raw. I would have to say this aircraft is absolutely amazing. You're not going to have a problem with it. I absolutely love it. Is it like the Coronado aircraft? Definitely not. The Coronado aircraft is more modern. I've got a more modern feel to it, and apart from the little hiccup with the RPM, which I believe is getting fixed, I've already reported it. I think both the Coronado and the Just Flight Arrow are a very good aircraft. I am going to do a preview flight of that aircraft. I've already got it, I haven't done a video on it. This one, it was a really good chance for me to get back into the YouTube game because I literally just bought it. So my first look, absolutely love it. I'll be flying it like crazy over the next couple of weeks. And definitely be making my money's worth in this aircraft in the near future. I really want to just quickly is have a look at what this 100 looks like. I don't use the 100 also often in the aircraft. Wow, that is very old. I gotta say, that is old. So self-test in progress. Yeah, I'm gonna have to learn that and definitely do a video on the GPS 100, the Gun 100. Yeah, so I'm definitely gonna have to have a look at that and get back to you. I'm not gonna sit here and keep you any longer. So thank you very much for watching, and like and subscribe down the bottom. I'll get a lot more videos out over time. Now that I'm back on Zach and YouTube. Thank you very much, guys, and until next time, peace.